Let's go. Oh, you can't do that. We're going to let everybody fill up. We're going to let this room fill up. We're going to let this room fill up. As the market is on a breakthrough, we're going to let this room fill up. I got a meter in my house. Let's go. We back, baby. We back in there. We back in there. We back in it to win it like Bennett. We back in it to win it like Bennett. Yo, what's happening? What's popping? What is popping, beautiful people? I'm extremely excited to be back. I'm extremely excited to be home. I'm extremely excited to be in your ear, be in your face this morning. Put some fire in the chat if you can see these crystals in the background. I just got off the live analyzing with my people. Just got off a live analyzing the market real quick with my people, showing them how to scalp gold real quick, take it for 20, 30 pips while the market is moving. And as she just basically retraces and move back up to start dropping back down a little bit more, we eat, we eat, we eat, and we eat, and we eat. What's happening? What up, Trent? What up, Meg? What up, Casimir? What up, Marcos? We're going to let this room fill up. I'm feeling amazing this morning. I am feeling amazing this morning. Amazingly, abundantly blessed. And as I'm amazingly, abundantly blessed, I'm going to bless you guys with my last little 3 weeks of journey. Everything that is going on, update you guys on new movement, update you guys on record breaking. And then we're going to talk about self-efficiency and why I say the name of this title is Self-Efficiency is a Scam. Understand that, beautiful people. The reason why I say that is for the simple fact, I think it's time for us as humans to start understanding that we can't do any and everything by ourselves. You can do anything that you want to do, but it's just way more efficient when you do it as a community. Put some fire in the chat if you understand what I mean. Because I've been doing a lot of things in my entrepreneur lifestyle. I used to do a lot of things by myself. And as I grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, I start realizing I'm way more efficient as a unit than I am by myself. And when I start literally understanding stagnant and understanding like, why am I not moving the way I'm supposed to move? Why am I not going in the direction I'm supposed to be going in? Why am I not growing? Put some fire in the chat if you're in that little situation where you feel like, man, I'm not growing like I used to. I'm not growing the way I'm supposed to. Put some fire in the chat. And also let me know if we're having some technical difficulties because I'm just back. I know the internet might be a little bit shaky, but I think you guys should be able to hear me clearly. If you can hear me clearly, as they say, the real Slim Shady, please stand up. If you can hear me clearly, put some fire in the chat. Put some fire in the chat. Let's go. Yes, 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 yes. Put some fire in the chat. I think we good. We're going to let it keep going. We're going to let the room fill up a little bit more before I really get into it. Because I want everybody to hear this message today. Because I think this message is highly important for individuals who are basically struggling with like family, struggling with siblings, struggling with children, struggling with growth, struggling with your job, struggling with any and everything that you like hindering you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you're trying to do it literally by yourself. You're trying to strong arm it. And if you're trying to strong arm things and then you realize why is it not really working, is because you're trying to strong arm it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to let things play out, let themselves play out. And if you don't let them things play out, then you don't get the best results. And sometimes the best results come from when you just sit back, be patient, allow people to make mistakes, allow people to do what they want to do. And once they realize what their methods is going to do because it's selfish, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Put some fire in the chat if you understand what I'm telling y'all. Put some fire in the chat if you understand what I'm telling y'all, because I'm trying to just speak as the room gets filled up, as the chat gets filled up. A lot of people start realizing, oh, yo, Mr. H is back. He's back. Yes, I'm back, beautiful people. Not only am I back, but I'm back in full-fledged force. Last couple of weeks, I've been rocking around about 65, 70%, because I had that little issue where something either bit sure now at looking at everything and what all of the shit that came out. Pretty sure it was probably a brown recluse that bit me. We summed it up to a brown recluse bite. And I don't know if you ever been bit by a fucking spider, but gee willikers Batman. I don't know if it was a boil, but I don't know if it was a spider bite, but at the same time, it was extremely painful. It was extremely painful. Got through it, but we got through it like a champ. We got through it like a champ, not even tripping. Got through it like a champ. So as I see everybody pulling in, now we got some basic people in here. Y'all tap that screen. Y'all show some love to the actual to the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you have not turned on all notifications, turn on all the notifications so anytime I go live, you can literally understand that, because sometimes I just randomly feel myself and I say, you know what, let me just go live. The sound is awful. It's okay. It's okay. It is all right. If the sound is awful, then you can catch the recording. The recording will be a lot better. The recording will be a lot better. Show up. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. So what does this sound like? Is it choppy? Is it robotic? Like, what does the sound like right now? Let me know. Talk to me. Oh, you said the bite sound awful. I'm like, what the fuck, Money Magic? I think we should be Gucci on the sound. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So if you guys not understanding, last week we had a really, really crazy movement in the market where the market literally started tanking. And as the market started tanking, a lot of people started freaking out because a lot of people had portfolios that they was basically buying into. Crypto was dying, stocks was dying, currencies was dying, everything was dying. And as everything was dying, a lot of individuals were still trying to buy falling knives. Because you're like, yo, it got to reverse here, it got to reverse here, it got to reverse here. Well, it got to reverse here. Put some ones in the chat if that was you. Yo, Rashonda, what's up, baby? Yes, what's up, Rashonda? Put some ones if that was you last week trying to catch falling knives. So I let the market breathe. I let the market do what it needed to do. And then I started basically slowly scalping in and out of the market, just trying to catch what I can catch and moving as I was in the mountains in South Dakota. So let me give you guys a quick little rundown. Well, 3 weeks ago, I woke up with a little bump on my stomach and I thought, maybe it's a hair bump. Let it be. We're not going to mess with it. So we're not going to press on it. So I left my house, went straight to Milwaukee. As I got to Milwaukee, it got worse. It got immediately big, got a little whitehead on the top of it. And as everybody know, when you see a whitehead, most people want to pop it. Because I'm a holistic individual, I already know not to do that. So I was not even messing with it. But what I was concerned is that it was swelling up and it was a knot under it. So I thought, this could get really bad because I'm outside my home. So I don't have anything that I would normally basically heal myself up with. As far as eucalyptus oil, like all these holistic type things and these little remedies that I would do if I'm at home. So as I got on my last mindset, if I was sitting on that porch in in Milwaukee, and I was telling you guys about the garlic situation, how I got burnt on doing back-to-back garlic. So not only did I mess myself up even more, dealing with a bite or a boil, and then I burn it, and then I have to let the burn heal to even deal with the bite. So as I make my way out of Milwaukee, my pain level is on 15. I don't even understand how I'm moving at this point, but I'm moving and I'm literally just staying focused. And because I was around a team, because I was with other individuals who were literally boosting my morale and telling me like, yo, Mr. H, bro, you got this, stay focused, you good, don't trip, everything is going to be okay, I started producing more money than I've ever produced. So one thing that never even broke, as I was speaking about, is my mindset. No matter how much pain I was in, no matter what I was going through, the mission was always important. And let's talk about missions. How many people got a mission in life that is literally prioritized? It is a must. It is a must. So as a former warrior, I don't know if you guys know the motto of a samurai. A samurai never worries about coming home. He worries about completing the mission. He's going to go home. So I never allowed the pain. I never allowed the fact that I was burnt 3rd degree. I never allowed that none of this shit that I had got going on, that I literally did to myself, affect what the mission was. And the mission was send my family to Arkansas, go on back-to-back tours from Harley-Davidson Rally in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Harley-Davidson Rally in literally Milwaukee, Oconomowoc, Milwaukee, and then go to literally the biggest bike rally in the United States of America, which is Sturgis, South Dakota. And let me tell you, my team showed out. Not only did we go with new people, not only did we go with new crew, not only did we go with the whole new mindset, it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let me tell you, we broke a record that we did last year that I didn't think we were going to do, but we broke a record. So I told you I was going to go grab that bag. So just to give you guys a quick little update, we took over $130,000 in 10 no income claims. And this is entrepreneur, impulse sales, standing in a tent, stopping people on the sidewalk and telling them, let me show you something amazing. Let me help you with your pain. Sir, I see you with this limp. Ma'am, I see you bent over. Ma'am, I see your hands with arthritis. Come here, let me show you something. Like direct impulse sales. So if those who are looking and trying to find like your task, then to be standing in a 10 by 10 tent in a situation where thousands of people are passing you and picking off people like snipers and closing them on the spot, servicing them on the spot. Let me tell you, it is the most glorious feeling. Let me tell you, it is a glorious feeling. It is a glorious feeling. Let me tell you that. Not only did new people come and make more money than they ever really made, best days, they're going to get their biggest checks. And that check will take them to literally basically level up outside of what they do with me, because other people, they have their own lifestyle. So they came with me, leveled up financially, and now they can go back into their environment and like knock some of the monkeys off of their back. And then if they can go back and do it again, now you start literally freeing people up from stress. And when you free individuals up from stress, now they're able to go into the financial market without that emotion. And now they got a little extra to play with. Man, come on now. Y'all got to understand now. And I ain't even got started now. So I found out this little holistic spot in South Dakota. They basically hooked me up with some castor oil. And they gave me some actual, some cream that had penicillin mixed in it. So I'm like, I can't do antibiotics. I can't do like Advils, ibuprofens, and all of this shit. But I was taking it. So imagine this. I can't do it, but I'm taking it. I'm taking it literally about 1,500 to 1,600 milligrams of ibuprofen a day, and it's messing my stomach to literally just get out there and keep on selling. Let me tell you, listen, that castor oil, and I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say 2 weeks ago in my personal chat, I think somebody recommended castor oil, and I want to say it was Mag Swag. I think Mag Swag told me about it. She mentioned that. She mentioned some witch hazel and some castor oil. I want to say she mentioned that to me. What I was doing was taking gauze, soaking it with castor oil, taking another pack, putting it on that, taping it to my body, and going out. And literally going out into the world and loving on people and not even thinking about the actual issues that I was having. So let's talk about it. As you get on a mission sometimes, I don't know if you guys realize that every time you try to focus in on the chat, put some 8s in the chat. Every time you figuring out something brand new, something likes to get in the way. And sometimes when it gets in the way, it's so annoying. It's so like tedious, but you have to kind of like pay attention to it, and it kind of like slows you down. And then you have to realize, well, what is the universe trying to tell me? What is the supposed to be slowing down? Am I supposed to be even paying attention? Or is this something, a trauma from a past lifetime? Like what is the learning curve from this actual engagement that got me in so much pain? Because I personally have not been injured in like 20 plus years. Like it's been 20 plus years since I've had a real deal injury. So as I'm trying to process this, and I'm still working, I'm still pushing, I'm still doing everything, but what it does, it takes gym out of my life for like 3 weeks. Like today was like the really first day that I went to a gym and I just worked out hard and I broke a really good sweat. Today was the first day since literally July 24th that I personally went to a gym and worked out. And there has never been a time in my life where I've went 3 weeks or so without actually working out. So that in itself was like, yo, what is this about? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I'm on a 2-hour time gap. So where it's 7 o'clock over here, it's literally 5 o'clock in South Dakota. So when I'm waking up literally normally at 4:30 over here, I'm waking up at 2:30 in the morning over there. Everybody's still asleep. There's not even a gym open over there. So I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to go. I don't even know like how to process it. We got like a little Bowflex gym in a garage. I don't even irritate what I got going on. So you know what I started doing? I started sitting still. I started praying. I started talking with myself. And I started asking myself questions like, how bad do you really want it? Like, how much are you willing to push yourself before you realize not everything has to do with money, but sometimes you have to sit back and allow it to happen. So I said, healing doesn't happen overnight. Healing happens over time. Put some 8s in the chat. Let's get with it. It's finna get serious. Healing does not happen overnight. Healing happens over time. Financial toxicity, financial traumas, they don't change overnight. Just because you're around individuals who know how to trade and because you make a couple of money making trades, that don't mean you have solved or healed from financial traumas. So what happens is, because you have financial traumas from your past that was self-inflicted, you think you're the only one that can solve them and get you out of these financial traumas. Well, that's the whole mindset of people started thinking like self-efficiency. I don't want to be a part of the government anymore. I want to have my own, do my own, grow my own, have my own farm. But then if you have your own, one little hiccup, then everything that you worked hard for goes away. So I'm going to use a really good friend of mine's for an example. So I have a buddy out there in Canada, has his own homestead, and he works his ass off. But in reality, he's slaving himself. Let me say this again. In reality, he's slaving himself. And if one thing happens, one hiccup, all of the hard work that he's been doing, it goes back 40, 50, 60%. Where now he has to go back all over and do everything all over again. So when I start thinking of self-efficiency, I go, yo, it's not about being self-efficient. It's about how can you be efficient in a community? How could you be still efficient in a unit? Like, what do you bring to the table to be able to put people together and like everybody working in one goal, one focus, one union. And now we are accomplishing things that can't just fall off the earth because one person gets sick. So I started thinking about my business. I started thinking about my family. I started thinking about literally decisions I've made. I started thinking about a lot of things that I truly kind of like take for granted. And what I always really take for granted is how strong my temple is. You understand that? Like, I really never even think about getting sick. I never really think about like having lows. I never really, because I'm such a high vibrational individual. So I never even allow these thoughts to like come in. But then imagine when it hit me, I started realizing, I said, yo, I can't do this by myself. And as I started depending on my team to start lifting me up, boosting me up, pushing me to higher highs, then other things started basically shaking. So let me be transparent. So as I was in my lowest form of healing, in my highest frequency of vibration of producing financial abundance, I was struggling with a family member. So as I'm trying to process and I'm trying to also focus, I have to shift my focus and drop the vibration to focus on something negative. Put some 8s in the chat if y'all understand. In my highest form of vibration financially, I have to drop my vibration to the lowest form of a vibration to deal with some family matters, to literally address it to the point where a decision has to be made. And sometimes you have to make decisions that's going to affect your mind. Let me say that again. Sometimes you have to make really tough decisions that would affect your heart, but it should not affect your mind. And because when I told you guys, you got 3 minds, you got your gut, you got your heart, then you got your actual mind. And you have to submit 2 of them to one of them. So you have to take this mind, heart, because it'll get super emotional. And you got to submit it to the gut, because the gut is the whisper. The gut is like your spirit. The gut is like your intuition. And when your intuition is telling you to do something and you're just only listening to your heart because you're emotionally attached, it could be your kids, it could be your friends, it could be it could be anyone. And then mentally you're juggling what decision to make. You see what I'm telling y'all? Put some fire in the chat. Mentally, I was processing things. I'm feeling extremely emotional about the decision that I need to make. My mind is telling me like, yo, if you make this decision, yo, it's going to be bad. My gut is telling me, let it go. Let it go. It's like the birds. You got to put them out the nest. You got to put them out the nest and got to let them fly. You got to let them have their own wings. You got to let them have their own. You can't shelter an individual who no longer wants to be sheltered. Let me say that again. You cannot shelter an individual who no longer wants to be sheltered. Even if you know that that person is not mentally, physically, spiritually, financially ready to be in their own, that's not your decision to make. Because their journey is not your journey. And more you try to force your journey upon them, the more and more they're going to literally rebuke it. The more and more they're going to do the opposite. So when you find someone doing the opposite of what you're literally preaching, teaching, loving, all of this, and they just want to do the opposite, you got to allow your mind to calm down. And then you got to allow your heart to not let you get emotional. Instantly listen to your spirit. Because if you have faith, put some 8s in the chat if you got faith. Put some 8s in the chat if you got faith. Let's go. Let's talk about it. If you got faith, put some 8s in the chat. Because one thing I know, God will never put me in a position where I can't bear. One thing I also know, no weapons formed against me or my family shall prosper. I know this. So when I start sitting here and I start thinking, I'm like, yo, I got to let the situation go, because I'm trying to control something that does no longer wants to be controlled. I'm trying to also control an outcome that is out of my control, because it's not my journey. I'm just in the journey. Ooh. How many people have been in relationships with an individual and you're trying to control that individual by trying to make that individual be somebody that individual is not? And you know, if that individual become the individual that you're trying to force them to be, their life will be. Say that again. How many times have you been in a relationship with an individual and the individual you're wanting them to be, you can't force them, but you want them to be that individual. So you're consistently trying to make sure that individual knows about the individual that they should be. But they consistently fight it. You can't force that. What you have to do is support the individual on from where they are, out on their own, to become the individual that they need to be. Because the individual that they want to be is the individual that is the opposite of what your teaching is. It's the individual is the opposite of what you're showing. It's the individual is the opposite of up under your shelter. And I don't know if you think I'm talking in circles, but I'm just letting you know, you can find yourself in some of the best situations where you can literally give an individual any and everything that they can possibly need and want in life. And at the end of the day, they'll still turn it down and act like you've never done anything for them. Put some 8s in the chat. Yeah, that's exactly it. You're in love with your own imagination. This is exactly it. This is exactly it. Because a lot of individuals are imagining the outcome for individuals when those individuals are so far from it. And it's like, I remember when I hit my bottom, still paradise to a lot of other individuals' bottoms, because everybody's bottom is different. Put some fire in the chat. So when you start looking at where someone else that is sheltered up under me, as the situation I have now, their bottom would no longer even be nowhere near of my bottom. So you go, no, you have to hit your own bottom. You have to find your own worst case scenario where you're going to bounce from. So where do I get this title from? When an individual thinks that he's going to be so self-efficient because of what he's hearing, because of the information he's been provided, because of the actual advice that someone is given, that is also no longer self-efficient. Let me say that again. If an individual is trying to be self-efficient from the information that he's receiving from an individual who is not self-efficient, that in itself is an outcome waiting for disaster. This is why it's highly important to be community efficient. Efficient in your community. Efficient in your family unit. Because if you're not efficient in your family unit, that means what role you play in your family unit does not overall boost up the family, then what is the whole purpose of having self-efficiency? Because I know anybody that is tough can go out and be self-efficient. I know anybody that wants to work hard can be self-efficient. But then what happens when you get bit by something and now your 100% is now 60? Your 60% drops to 25. What if you never really bounce back and it takes you sometimes 3 months, 4 months to bounce back from your self-efficiency? Put some 5s in the chat if you've had big setbacks in your life. And then you're just literally climbing up out of them. Understand what I'm telling y'all, beautiful people. I'm not trying to be on a negative vibration. I'm just bringing awareness of individuals who are thinking that you're going to be successful in this particular industry by yourself. I'm just telling you, if you think you're going to be the only one and the first one to break the financial curses in your family, then you should be thinking of a community versus doing it alone. Because the minute you fall short, the minute you get sick, the minute you take a loss and you take a step back from the actual industry, you're literally prolonging that another 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. Let me say that again. It is saying you're going to break generational curses in your family. And then you yourself are having setbacks because you're just trying to do it by yourself. You're the reason why it gets prolonged. When if you yourself, not necessarily forced it, but if you worked as a community, you provided the skill sets as a community, you started opening yourself up, and it starts here and here. Let me turn that down. Let me show it to you. Oh yeah, Beth, I got that Savage shirt on. If you can see it, I got that Savage shirt on. Like to get you a shout out. What I mean by that, beautiful people, if you think you're just going to be quiet and just roll through this industry by yourself, and then as you start getting the skill sets, you're going to start sharing it, it don't work like that. If you think you're just going to come into this industry and break height, or it's just going to happen really, really quickly, it don't work like that. Because you have also been sheltered and learned the wrong thing well financially. So now when you come over here, you're trying to learn the right thing. You understand that, beautiful people? You're trying to learn the right thing. And when you're trying to learn the right thing, guess what happens? Guess what happens? You're going to have hiccups. You're going to have hurdles. You're going to have so many literally things get into the way. And as these things start getting in the way, man, you're going to start having doubt. You're going to start losing self-esteem. You're going to start questioning your why. By the way, my why is proven to be stronger than the need for smoking weed. I am still not smoking weed. Let's get some 8s in the chat. Let me tell you, I thought with all of the shit that I had, I already had put money aside. I said, yo, if I keep dealing with this shit, by the time I get to Denver, I'm going to grab me a pack. I'm going to drive to South Dakota. I'm going to sit in the mountains. And if I don't heal while I'm in the mountains, I'm damn sure going to be high doing it. Everybody was smoking but me. I didn't even light up a cigar. All I literally did was just tell myself, your why is bigger than the actual need of actually doing it. So why do we trade? Why do we try to be more? Why do we want to do more? Why do we strive to be better? Why do we do all of these things? There's a why. And when you start having your bad times and you start having to address things, because I always tell people, like, there's only certain things you can ignore until it's so close, then you have to deal with it. So for the very first time, something came so close to me at a low, and if I deal with it like I normally deal with things, it could go really bad for everybody. So I had to learn how to do something brand new. So I had to go, you know what? Let me go call my dad. Let me go call my mom. I wish my grandmothers were still around, because I need to know some information from individual who has already done this and been through this type of shit. Because for my mindset, like, if you hella aggressive. Put some fire in the chat if you're hella aggressive. See, I'm hella aggressive. So I had to calm down, and I said, you know what? It's not the time to release the dragon when it's not even your journey. Let me say it again. Somebody said no more munches. Let me say it again. It's not the time to release the dragon when it's no longer your journey. Now it's time to put the binoculars on, get the scope out, and watch from a distance. And snipe dramas and trials and tribulations before they even get to them. Protect them from afar as much as possible. What I'm talking about. I had to personally kick my youngest son out of my house while I was dealing with all of this extra shit. And it was literally because of his shortcomings and his literally just taking any and everything that I have offered and I've actually done for him for granted. And the only way I like to deal with things is to speak openly about them. Because certain things come about in your life and you have to ask, why is this even a process? Like, what is this? Like, who wouldn't want to be up under my roof? Who wouldn't want to be next to an individual who is consistently striving to be better, pushing other individuals to be better? Who would not want to be around that? And then when you start realizing, it's like, that has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and their journey. Maybe their journey requires them to be away from that to understand the beauty about what that brings. So by the time he comes back, he's bigger, better, stronger, mentally, physically, spiritually. And then there's where the interaction happens. That's growth. Not everybody can grow next to an individual who is consistently growing. How many people understand Jack and the Beanstalk? You see what I'm saying? So I looked at it like the only positive way to look at it as a comedian. I said, I think I finally got me a fucking office in the house. I said to myself, oh shit, I think I finally got me an office. like that ass. I'm a comedian, so I had to make the best out of a shitty situation. So I said, well, shit, we got space. We got space. Then you start looking at the 8th day, 8th month, 808. I started trying to manifest. I already prayed for them all day long. So I made sure on the 8th month, on the 8th day, that I wasn't even going to mention anything about that situation. I'm going to only talk about it. Open it up. We're going to clean it out. We're going to start manifesting maybe more financial abundance. We're going to manifest more from that area right there. We're going to change it to even maybe I might make it a school room just for my daughter. We're going to do something great in that area. So every time I pass by, I don't get that emotional feeling, or my mind doesn't play tricks on me and my heart starts basically dragging me down. Because when I came home, and let me tell you, when I come home, normally if I'm not out with them, like everybody's home. So to come home to see it and then understand it's not the same, it weighs heavy on you. So then I started thinking about the self-efficiency again. I said, yo, we as people have to start understanding community. And the sooner we start understanding community and start understanding a unit, that's when we're going to truly realize that we don't need to be governed. We don't need to be governed by anyone. So you can choose left side, right side, because at this particular time in life, it's not safe to even stand in the middle anymore. I remember when it was safe to stand in the middle and not even choose a side and talk shit about it. But as I said before, and I'll say again, it's not about how you truly feel. It's about what's best for your children. And when I start looking at the future, that I'm personally don't even understand what's going to happen in the future because it's no longer the same. It's not even the same lifestyle as I lived in, as most of you guys lived in. I'm 45 years old and I'm seeing brand new shit every day. My homeboy works 7 days a week. And he's an electrician. And he's telling me, yo, bro, I'm wiring robots over here. Let me say that again. He's telling me, yo, bro, I'm wiring robots. So let me give you guys a story about community. How many people ever heard the stories about the monkeys in the cage, and there's a hole at the top of the cage, and there's a chain in the middle, but there's a water hose at the top? Put some 8s in the chat if you've never heard that story. Let me tell you this story. There was 10 monkeys in a cage and no food at the bottom The food was at the top of the cage. Only time food would come in from the bottom is when the owners would come in and literally slide the trays in. But they consistently had food at the top to let the monkeys know, if you try to come out of here, there's food over here, but there's also a water hose right there. So one monkey eats all of the food down, sees that there's more food up, start climbing up, gets the food, starts getting ready to climb out. The water hose spray the hell out of him. Falls all the way back down to the bottom. Another monkey says, well, you know what? I can get up there and get it too. So the monkey climbs up, grabs the food, tries to get out, sprays down all the way down to the bottom. 3, 4, 5, 6 monkeys starts doing this. Every last one of those monkeys gets sprayed, comes down, falls. And when they're falling hard. They're falling, they're breaking things. And now at this point, the community of the 10 monkeys there, they know that the food that is right there and the exit to get out of the cage is no good. So they run an experience. They start breeding those monkeys. They put those monkeys, the babies of those monkeys, in a whole new cage with the same scenario. And none of the baby monkeys even try to even climb out to get the food. Let me say that again. They bred those monkeys after traumatizing those monkeys. They put the babies in those monkeys in the same scenario in a different cage. And not one of the monkeys tried to climb up and get the food. That shows you that your traumas, that your decisions, all of that shit can be passed down just through DNA. So as you're going through the motions, that actual story gets even deeper. They took new monkeys who has not been breeded, and they put them back in the original cage where the monkeys were breeded, watching their children not even attempt to climb to get out. YouTube hating, but it's okay. YouTube is hating, it's okay. They witness their children being traumatized. They put brand new adult monkeys with the adult monkeys. Not only did those adult monkeys didn't breed with the new monkeys, but the new monkeys started looking at the old monkeys and like, why the hell they just don't climb out and get out? When the new monkeys started trying to climb out, the old monkeys started beating the monkeys up. Like I said, beautiful people, you can learn the wrong thing well. And it's all about what has generationally been passed down to you. And when you start understanding what is generationally passed down to you and you have learned the wrong thing well, and you pass that down to your kids, and now your kids 100% are moving right. So if you're trying to force things upon your children and you see them literally shifting out of it, don't stop the shift. Let them go. As hard as it may seem, as hard as it may feel, as hard as it may be, you must let them go. Especially if they're old enough to be let go. Now, when they're young, no, you have to manage that. So much you can do to a young grown man who is still acting childish. And they say, even in the good book, I only became a man when I let go childish things. Says something like that. Put some fire in the chat if you understand that. That's right, Stephanie. You're going to get hurt if you dream too big. You're going to get hurt if you try to do something outside of what the family does. When an individual wants to be an entrepreneur, but the family wants you to be a truck driver, or the family wants you to do this, or the family wants you to do that, because that's what's safe. Let me tell you, beautiful people, There's nothing safe in life if it doesn't evolve around having a better and greater relationship with God. That's first. And if that movement that you're so striving for, you're so hungry for, then there's no real blessings there in the first place. And let me tell you, you don't have to be blood to be family. You don't have to be blood to be family. Let me say that again. You don't have to be blood to be family. So when you start looking at self-efficiency, how about you look at efficiency as a unit and see, what can I do to build a proper community, whether it is a cold-blooded mentally community where people are just so mentally focused on just becoming better. And if that's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, what difference does it make, beautiful people, when you are affecting as a unit? Because together, you're going to be so much stronger. So let me give you the hindsight of that story. That chain that one monkey climbed up to grab the food. If all of the monkeys got on the chain, the weight of the monkeys would have cut off the actual water hose. Let me say that again. The outcome of that story, if all of the monkeys climbed at the same damn time, the weight of climbing up would have cut the lever off the water, and they would have got out and had abundance of food sales one by one. The pressure from the water was so high, it pushed them down one by one to the point where they gave birth to children who didn't even see the thought or have the drive to go up there. Oh, no. Stephanie, I love you. 1 Corinthians 13:11. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. I knew it was in that good book. I'm no Bible thumper, but I know what's in the good book. So I'm here to tell any and everybody, let me tell you, if you're trading as a child, you're still speaking as like a child in trading, acting like a child in trading, you're going to have to let go childish ways. If you think you can just wake up and just jump into a trade because you're looking at it and it's just going to go your way, you got to drop these childish ways. You can communicate with, but imagine how many times I just realized I got a meter here that is the battery needs to be changed because it's beeping. I was like beep. I'm like, hold on, that thing needs a battery. That's what happens when you leave your house for 3 weeks. If you're trading on your own and you're not sure, I'm telling you, beautiful people, be reassured by talking in the community. You have a Forex signal chat. You have a Forex chat. Before you just jump into something, speak to the community about it. If you're literally thinking about taking efficient, bring more to the table than just taking signals. Bring more to the table than just trying to learn. I'm openly telling you, beautiful people, because let me tell you, not only do I believe my son is going to thrive because he has my DNA. I went through my own. I'm telling you, I was the black sheep or the caramel complected sheep, however you want to call it. But man, let me tell you, I put my family through the ringer, being the only son. I put them through the ringer. So not only do I have the positive aspect, like, yeah, it looks bad now. Yes, he's like on his way to a rocky start. But man, do I have faith he's going to have the biggest and the brightest and the most fruitful future. Oh man, I have extreme faith on that. Like I believe that, man, literally, I don't know how long it's going to take him, and I don't care. But like I said, I got my scope on him. I got my binoculars on him. I got my battle axes. I got my battle axes for his safety, for his security, for his health, for his mental, for his spirituality, for the spiritual war that he's going through. I got 5 minutes and let me speak on this. we're going through a real deal shift right now. And I don't know if you guys even understand it, but we're going through a real shift in the universe where there's a lot of polarities happening right now where the weaker minds are going to get affected. The weaker minds are going to be affected. And as they show that they're affected just from the shift, not everybody is going to raise at the vibration of the shift. Want to deal with the nasty side of the shift. Make sure you're equipped to handle that, because sometimes it's going to be the closest individuals to you that don't shift. And you have to be okay with that, because this is spiritually, this is written already. The shift is going to happen. And as the things start shifting, you got to have all of your skill sets intact, financial skill sets. Then you're missing every little aspects of life, because I can haul off 10 aspects of shifts, skill sets that I have that is going to be needed. And imagine my 10 skill sets means nothing if I'm going to try to do it by myself. You're going to need a unit. You're going to need a community. Let me trade as a community. Let me trade as a unit, because when I trade with my team, everybody's more efficient. When I see them trading by themselves, I see the chat go down. I see the energy dies out. I see people start blowing shit and not claiming it. I see people back on demos. Put some 8s in the chat. Put some 8s in the chat. Certain things are not meant to do it by yourself. Certain things are meant to do it as a unit. And we've created this organization for the simple fact we know together we are stronger versus being separate and trying to do it on our own. Put some fire in the chat. I hope you guys understood this message today, because the message is very simple and raw to its best. Not only did I get free space in my house to basically do some more shit that I want to do, I can create a little podcast room. There's so many abundantly things I can think of. But I want any and everybody to know, like, I'm never too good to speak on even the negative things that goes on in my life, because I have to openly have to tell myself as I laid there and I healed, this is not your fault. Because a lot of people want to blame me. And then I say, you can blame me all you want. I've been the bad guy for a very long time. I've been a bad guy for a very, very long time. I don't mind being a bad guy. But I can look myself in the mirror. I can look myself in the mirror on a daily basis and say, you know what? There's not one thing I would change into this particular situation, because me personally, I've done exactly what I'm supposed to do to take a young individual to a grown-ass man. Now, if you want me to pacify an individual, you want me to prolong that, then that's a whole nother subject. Maybe I could have worked and did something better. Maybe I could have softened myself up. But there's no strength in that. There's no growth in being soft on an individual that must grow. There's no strength in telling someone to keep being childish when it's time to put away those things. So I appreciate everyone listening to me. And like I said, I like to relate it back to what we got going on, because our community is extremely strong. Our trading community is extremely strong. And where we fail is building this community up to the point where everybody should be into OBG right now. But because we're like, yo, when I get better at this, I'm going to share this opportunity. I don't see why we don't have 10,000 individuals in here already, for the simple fact everybody should be posting about someone else is even winning. Like, yo, this person is winning, this person is winning, this person is winning. And if someone is around you is only worried about you winning, then go talking to strangers, because I can show them that everybody else is winning, and that it impresses them, because people are used to seeing me win. People are used to seeing me make money. So when I show them that I'm making money, they go, yo, it's nothing new, bro. You always make money. What about everybody else? So I show them everybody else, and that's very impressive to someone that doesn't know me. Bro, if you don't know me and you see that I got money, and then you see that other people are making money around me, that's very impressive. So I'm here to tell any and everybody that is in this organization, quit thinking self-efficient wise that I'm finna get my money. I move better. As an organization, I'm more efficient. Start thinking like that. Because if you share the winnings of others, even if it's just on your story and your story and your story, people are going to start saying, yo, what is that? Oh, yo, that's my family member winning. Yo, that's my sister winning. That's my brother winning. That's my sister winning. That's my brother winning. Yo, really? Yeah. Because we're family over here. Keep that in your mind. You guys like, share, love, subscribe, cut the notifications on, and understand, we move better together. We move better together. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. Deuces, beautiful people. Get your screenshots, drop your shares, tag me on social media, drop your comments after the live gets dropped, and let you guys know once again, we are stronger together, and nobody is too good to speak there and be transparent. Everybody has their ups, everybody has their downs, but you can never break your mindset. You can never allow your heart to play with you, and you always got to listen to the intuition in your gut, because that's what's whispering. Make the rest of your day the best of your day. Deuces, beautiful people.